Hey, what's up? This is Chris, and got a really important question that I want to try to answer in this podcast. The question is, how do you measure the success of your brewery's advertising strategy? Great question. And as any good marketer is going to try to help you answer that, and there's all sorts of metrics and measurements and things that are related to your advertising strategy, but ultimately, the most important metric that's going to determine the success of your ad strategy is revenue, right? Transactions and revenue. It's the bottom line that ultimately matters. And any marketer that doesn't admit that is delusional, or they're lying to you. They're just not experienced enough. It's the dollars and cents at the end of the day. But in order to actually get to revenue, in order for your advertising strategy to do that for your business, you have to be delivering the right message to more of the right people. And you have to be doing that frequently enough for them to remember that message and take action. So you should care about some other metrics related to your advertising aside from just revenue. And in this podcast, I'm going to try to discuss a few of these key performance indicators, KPIs, and how they're going to lead to more revenue for your brewery ultimately. It's kind of like this funnel, right? You got to work your audience through this process to get them to purchase your stuff, get them to buy your beer. But there is a process. So let's go through it. So first, let's talk about key performance indicators, KPIs. And I think a lot of business owners, they overlook advertising KPIs. They look at clicks and engagements and impressions, and they're just like, oh, it's just wizard work by the marketer. Really, all I care about is revenue. And you're not wrong for caring about seeing actual results. And it's understandable considering the pressures of running the business. I know, I run a business too. I get it. The paradox is that only focusing on the bottom line actually doesn't improve the bottom line that much. And in fact, sometimes it can make it worse. So what KPIs allow us to measure is the effectiveness of up-channel activities, and they help us make decisions based on what is working or not working in those areas. So optimizing your advertising strategy based on these KPIs is actually going to improve the quality of your campaigns. It's going to get more engagement with those campaigns, and that is actually what's going to drive revenue for you. So you have to be focused on some of these key advertising metrics. And if you optimize in that direction, you're going to see better performance, and that better performance will ultimately get you more revenue. So what are those KPIs? Well, there's a lot, but I'm going to point out three of them that I think are super important here. The first one is reach. And what I mean by reach is the number of unique individuals that your ads are shown to. And nowadays, and this is just very recent in the last couple of months, and I'm recording this in November of 2021. So, just in the last couple of months, Facebook, for example, has come out and said that actually our reach numbers, they're not individual people anymore. It's devices, or it's platforms rather, not devices, it's platforms. So the same person could see your ad on Facebook and then again on Instagram. That's going to count as two people reached. So sometimes it can mean platforms. But, for purposes of this conversation, reach is really unique individuals, right? Either way, it's super important. What this metric shows you is how many people you're actually showing ads to. And the key here is that more people equal more opportunities for sales. If you're going to sell more stuff, at the baseline, you need to be showing ads and promotions to more people so that they can take action. One caveat here too is that simply maximizing reach for the sake of a higher reach number isn't necessarily good. Really, the objective should be to get as much reach as you can within your target audience, right? So not just everybody, but can you define that audience and then maximize reach in that target? That's the goal, right? So reach is an important metric. Another really important metric is frequency. And frequency really is the number of unique individuals you get in front of. Actually, how many times you get in front of those individuals. So, you have to think about this a little bit. Showing your ads too many times, not good. You don't want to be a pest. You don't want to over advertise. That could actually damage your brand. People will be like, oh, these guys are always in my feed. Screw them. I'm never going there, right? However, under advertising, I think, is actually more likely and can be worse. If you're not showing your ads enough to people, then they're just not going to take action, or they just won't remember you at all. Imagine spending hundreds of dollars to run ads and having nobody remember them. What a waste. Ouch, right? So how much frequency is good? It depends. It depends on what kind of campaigns you're running. It depends on your platform. That's the textbook marketing answer is, it depends. Typically though, what we try to shoot for out the gate is we want like a 2 to 3 out the gate. 3 to 5 is pretty good too. Once you start getting over 4 and 5, you see that frequency number creep up that way, you probably need to start making some adjustments. Either change the ads, change the targets, maybe put an audience on rest. Don't advertise them for a little while, because then you're going to be kind of risking over advertising. I think Facebook's best practice guidelines is they say 3. It's pretty accurate, I think. So frequency matters. You want to be remembered. The next metrics that are going to matter to you are click-through rate / engagement rate. It's kind of the same thing. I'm going to group them together for the purpose of this conversation. If all you did was run campaigns that got high reach and good enough frequency, you might be on the right track. You might be getting something done. But you could also be going in the total wrong direction. Okay? This is why click-through rate / engagement rate are essential KPIs. And let's just say click-through rate moving forward. We're going to group them together. That's why they're important, is because what click-through rate allows you to measure is like how good your messaging is and how good your collateral is. It can also indicate your audience too. So, and how good your audience is and your targeting is. And that's a vice versa situation. So it could indicate good audience, good message. It could also indicate bad audience, bad messaging. Here's how. Here's an example. So let's say you're running ads and you've got enough reach and got enough frequency, and you're looking at your click-through rate. If you see that your click-through rate is going down or is low or isn't increasing or looks low compared to other campaigns or ads that you're running, that message may be off. Like click-through rate is the flag that says, hey, look, this ad is getting engaged with. This audience is engaging with these ads. And that tells you a lot about your messaging and your audience targeting. The engagements that you're getting on your ads tell you a lot. And this is really true whether you're running ads or not. So you could be doing organic posts, and if one post gets a lot of engagement versus another post, maybe there's something up about that post. Maybe it was the day that you posted it on. Maybe it was the imagery or the video or the message in that post that worked for you. That's what click-through rate allows you to do. So let's connect the dots here. So how do these 3 KPIs actually lead to revenue? Let's kind of review this really quick. So ultimately, what's going to increase sales for your brewery is getting more of the right people into your tap room, more of the right people recognizing your tap handles at other bars, and more of the right people picking your cans off the shelf. So the mission of your advertising campaigns is to show your messaging to more of the right people and motivate them to take action. So how do these KPIs indicate that you're accomplishing that mission? Reach is going to tell you how many unique individuals within your target audience are seeing your message. Frequency tells you how often your message is being served to each audience member. And click-through rate tells you how good your messaging is. So if you can reach more of the right people, you can do so frequently enough, and you serve them messaging that is good, then you're going to earn more sales. It's going to happen. People are going to come in and try your stuff. The rest is what's in the glass. And you got to be serving good product ultimately. Otherwise, that's not going to help you. Maybe you get an initial bump, but if it's not good enough for them to stick around, then marketing can't help you with that ultimately. So what's in the glass has got to be good. But that's really it. Reach, frequency, click-through rate. If you focus on those three things and optimizing in that direction, it's gonna make your advertising better. You're gonna reach more of the right people. You're gonna do so frequently enough for them to remember you. And if you serve the right message and you constantly experiment and adjust your messaging based on what's getting good click-through rate and engagement, then you're going to see that advertising campaign continue to perform well, and you're ultimately going to see more sales. So hopefully that was helpful. I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in, listening, watching, however you consume this. If you like it, please share. Share this with your team. Share this with other marketers in your network. Share it with other breweries in your network. And let's all learn together. I appreciate your time. We'll catch you next time. See ya.